Welcome to the Mounting Block. I'm Oriel.
And I'm Marissa.
We're here to inspire each other and, of course, you, our listeners, as we navigate the wild ride of rediscovering our love for horses while juggling work, kids, businesses, and a million other things.
From tackling fears to finding time in between school drop-offs, spilt snacks, business meetings, and marriage, we're here to share the laughs, the lessons, and the occasional mishap in the saddle.
So grab a coffee, a wine, maybe even a lead rope if you're game, and join us for honest, uninterrupted conversations, a bit of mum life mayhem, and a whole lot of encouragement.
This is a Mounting Block. Let's get a leg over and join us for the ride.
So we have a very, very special episode today.
Yeah, we do.
We've got
another person in person.
We do have another person in person. Yes, yes. Now, you will have heard us talk about Will Shaw from Equine on the Move many times. In fact, I think you feature in every single podcast.
It's because we have...
How they rate?
They rate so well when Will's mentioned. But I think it's because we're like... What's the kind way of saying this, Oriel? We're big, giant babies, up as middle-aged women who need Will's
Will
on the regular.
On the regular basis.
So even last week, I think on the weekend, I was trying to float the new pony and it was just such a disaster and I didn't end up getting her to Pony Club. I leaned on a neighbour to take her. And then while I was at Pony Club, I spotted Will's float and I was like, hey.
Oh, thank God.
Are you? Yes. Oh, my God, he's coming back. Are you going to come back? Yep, I'll be there soon. And when I saw him, which he went, Mariska. My name is Mariska.
Yeah, it's your new name. It's a better name.
It is a better name.
It's a great name for you.
Better. Why did they call me an Italian name and not a Russian name? But, I was like, oh, my God, thank God. Anyway, it's always nice to have Will's calming presence in amongst this horse world.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And, of course, this morning too. So Will came to save us this morning as well. Because we've talked about this on the podcast as well. We can't get Laney through the gate. I can't get Laney through the gate. Yet Will, this morning, isn't even holding Laney and Laney walks through the gate.
I know. I told you to stop showing off.
Yeah. But it's unbelievable. How do you do it?
Oh, look, I think we mentioned the way I operate with horses is a blend of other people's ideas. So I tinker with stuff. I'm not reinventing the wheel, and there's a lot of good information. I guess I have the luxury of handling a lot of horses, different horses, every day. So you get to be able to read those emotions pretty quickly. And for Laney, and I'll take some words out of another guy, Tristan Tucker, I think his name is. He's an English sort of style trainer, and he's good. And he talks about asking when your horse is in that frame of mind. So as opposed to when your horse is digging in, saying no, backing up, moving everywhere. Do we keep putting pressure on? Do we keep asking when they're in that state? And the answer is probably no. We don't get those good results. So we want our horses to be able to soften a bit to us, bring their minds back into their body and start showing you signs of, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And
willingness.
That's the time. It's they're making a decision.
And you did exactly that. So you got Laney to the point where you weren't demanding anything of him. You were just putting him in the space where he then looked through and went, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do this. And did go through.
Yeah, and he came through.
Through.
So that was his idea. Like, it wasn't me forcing him through. He made up his mind. Yeah, I'm good with this.
Yeah.
And through I come.
Yeah.
Do you prescribe to the idea that people talk about horses having like two brains?
Definitely. Yeah. So you've got
Can you explain that?
So you've got the right side of the brain, which is the reactive side, I suppose. That's where the instinct, the fight, flight, I can't do this, I've got to go. I've got to get out of here. Brain is. And that's probably the larger side of their brain. And then you've got the left side where they become a bit more rational. They can process thoughts. They can, move forward to things. And so it's our job is to be able to help them switch brain. It's like riding out on a trail maybe and your horse is losing its mind over something, you can feel all that nervous energy. It becomes our job then to transfer that nervous energy to positive energy. And a lot of the times it's simply just giving them a job to do.
Yeah.
It might be circling around a tree, it might be stepping over a log.
Yeah.
It's just allowing them to move forward, move their legs forward, their feet forward and engage their mind.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the first trail I went on with you, and and I was on Hickory, and I don't think I realised at the time maybe I was like losing her a little bit. And then we were sort of cantering up a hill, and you were like, "All right, just start pulling her back now," and I was like, "Oh yeah." And then you're like, yeah, no, how about come to a walk now? And I was like, oh, if Will's telling me to come to a walk, I must be. And then you immediately turned me into, or got me to turn her into the grass and sidestep. And I was like, oh, okay. So she was actually getting away from me, but you spotted it well before I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, you've got to develop some tools to keep yourself safe.
Yeah, thankfully I heard
Will is not always going to be there.
It's like, oh God, this girl's on a path to nowhere.
Yeah.
I figured
it's
she'd
a lot
just stop at
different.
the top.
And that's a good point, because I think a lot of the fear people have and they get me involved is that transition from trot to canter in an open space outside of an arena, and it's a big problem. A lot of people, and I know Ariel, were a bit worried about that at the start too.
Am still worried about that, Will, and that's been
And that you just can't ignore. I think you get bigger problems when you don't canter your horses.
Yes.
And so it's really important that you can canter horses outside an arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting better. I don't do it very often. I mean, we went on a ride together where the whole ride just about was a canter, but it was up quite steep.
And I do that on purpose because you're going to find it's a lot safer for people who have some anxiety around stepping into that canter to be going up a steep hill because any little bit of misbehaviour, little bark or a pig root is you can hardly even feel it, because they're just having to put energy into getting up the hill.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to sit it when you're riding up. You hear people talk about, this horse has got an uphill canter.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we go uphill.
Yeah.
That's why I take people uphill, because I find and I've got to be conscious of people's safety as well. So, and where they are in their journey.
In their journey.
Yeah.
Well, but then I think we've got it on the Mounting Block socials actually, when Will took me for a ride. I think Katie might have been with us as well.
Oh, yes,
another friend of ours. And we were cantering up a hill, and Will's taken this video of me cantering up there beside him. So not only is Will cantering, he's leading, so he's got to be aware of that, but he's looking backwards to me while he's filming cantering up this hill.
You make that sound difficult, isn't it? No.
Here we go.
No, that's like Rebel saying jumping 135 centimetres on cross-country course is not difficult.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
How did you, I guess, like going back, how did you get into horses? Like, why are you so good?
And when can we be like you?
So I guess from an early age, Mum was heavily into horses and had horses, through and part of her working life too on the cattle properties out in Western Queensland. Horses were a bit.
Farmer?
No, she was the daughter of a grazier. And her brothers had cattle properties sort of west of Roma and north of Mitchell area.
Oh yeah.
And so I had no choice. It was I was in the saddle, before I could walk, kind of thing. I was one of those kids. But she was a very good horsewoman and a good competitor. So I guess that's where it started, and I enjoyed it. But a lot of our riding, or pretty much all of our riding, was doing stock work, cattle work. Yeah. So our horses were station horses, and there weren't horses that you could go and catch in the paddock. We'd have to run them up into the yards and catch them that way. And once again, we'd only ride them during school holidays. So I spent all my time, all my school holidays out there, and in fact, I think my grandfather rearranged his branding and weaning programs around school holidays.
So you can be a hand.
A couple of more ringers on board. Yeah. So that's where it started, and I left school and I went to an ag college at Longreach and took the horsemanship stream, and that was 2 years of intense horsemanship,
right,
under the guidance and I suppose mentorship of a well-known trainer, educator, horseman, Ken May, who sadly passed away last year, I think. But, so that's kind of where that journey started. Yeah.
But you took a break from horses,
I
didn't
did,
you?
I
You
did,
got distracted by rugby.
Yeah, I did. I got distracted by rugby. So I was set up for a career in the land. I had represented Australian rugby in a junior level.
Legal union.
Union. And continued playing while I was working in the bush for Queensland Country and different teams, underage teams and senior teams. And I had a chance meeting, I guess, with John Connolly, who was the Queensland Reds coach in waiting. And he said, look, your name's getting thrown around the place now, but you really need to be playing, in the Brisbane competition if you want to go any further. And so I took that on board, and I did. I came down to Brisbane and moved away from that whole scene there. But always still had an interest in horses. And
did you make it with rugby? How far did you go?
Oh, I made it to Queensland senior level.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You got a sort of a famous rugby name, Will Shaw.
Well,
yeah.
It does
There's a number of Shores in the rugby world, but they're not related to me.
Yeah, right.
Didn't you go overseas and play?
Yeah, so I played a season. I had 3 seasons overseas. I had a season in the UK, and played for a club in London, and that's sort of where I got into. I just responded to an ad there where they were looking for people to work on at a polo academy. Yeah. So anyway, that's another story. But so I had a season in the UK. I had a season for Old Belvedere, a famous Irish club in Dublin, and I also had a season in San Francisco. So so I was a professional amateur.
So were you earning enough playing rugby to
No, I didn't
live?
understand. No, so that was the beauty
Yeah.
of the rugby, and still is that just that network there where people would look up, you find your jobs.
Yeah, wherever you sort of landed.
Yeah, I had accommodation lined up, and
yeah,
someone gave me a car, and
Oh my God.
It's a cool life for a young fella.
Yeah, no, it was great.
Ireland, England,
Yeah.
America.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, no, it was fabulous, and then came back to Brisbane, obviously, and got going and in business outside of horses.
So now the business, just going back to the horses for a moment, your business, Equine on the Move, is totally around horses. Now, we should point out that Will has the entire middle-aged women for the western suburbs of Brisbane.
That's the demographic I work in. I didn't choose that, but I'm not complaining.
Every female that rides in Brisbane knows Will Shaw and has been helped by Will Shaw.
Do you know how many random people I've just have texted and said, "Oh no, you should speak to Will Shaw," and I'm like, "Oh God, he's my friend." I obviously know.
Will, I don't know whether I mentioned this to you the other day, but Will was floating us somewhere. I think your car was out, so Will was floating us somewhere. And there's a hoot here and someone's waving here. And it was like in the space of 5 kilometres, there was like 10 people that was waving.
But no, they see the float and they recognise me.
But it's amazing because it keeps you busy, doesn't it?
It does keep me busy, and it's been great. Like it started off really just as a side hustle for me.
Yeah.
And I was involved in a startup, and we were trying to raise capital, and that's tricky at any time. But whole series of things happened. COVID started, and then it was a tech play that we were involved in, and it became a bit on the nose. And we were very early. We were pre-seed. So we hadn't. It was getting difficult, and I wasn't earning any money at that point.
Because you're working in a startup.
Yeah. So I just looked around. I had sort of been scoping out other ideas, but nothing was just really coming to me. And then I thought, okay, here's an idea. I'll give that a go, just to try and get a few bucks rolling in. And
you were busy every day.
Yeah, I'm busy every day.
Every day.
Yeah. It didn't start out like that. I thought, okay, I'll plug a few holes here, and I did a bit of work at the old McIntyre Centre before Lisa took over. And
Lisa's been on our potty.
Yeah, she has. I listened to that one. I've listened to a few of your podcasts, and I feel very privileged. Some of the company you've had in here have been very impressive.
Yeah,
people.
it's been good.
Yeah, all of them, really.
Yeah.
But I haven't listened to all, to be honest. But the ones I have listened to.
We'll catch up, Will. You'll have to tally how many times I mentioned you.
So the side hustle turned into a full-time gig for me, and it's been great. It's been really rewarding, and it makes me happy. It's very fulfilling.
That's great. Because you're genuinely helping.
You're genuinely
helping people with their horses and their relationship with horses,
Yeah.
and sorting out problems. I mean, like, that's a great
and
place to be, isn't it?
It is, and the rewarding part is to see people progress through and work through what problems they think they might be having, and you become part of their journey.
Yeah.
And it's lovely when people send me little videos of what they've been doing. I said, I did this and I did that, and it's working really well.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And
Yeah.
they'll see me at events and come up and say, thanks, it's everything's going well.
Yeah.
Some of the business is purely transactional. I offer a service, they have a need, pick up a horse, I take it there. But most of it is a bit more integrated. So I've become part of people's lives.
A bit more relationship based.
And I hope I'm part of your girl.
Because
God, we can't live without you, Will.
Because remember when we bought the float and we were like, well, we'll still be friends. Thinking like, we were
that's it.
using
It's
him
over
for
now.
the float part at that point. But then we're like, I feel like I've seen you more. And actually, Will was amazing, and people who have been following along with this Hecate journey, he was, it was really, really cool. Spent some time with Will down at the Pony Club doing a lot of groundwork with her while we were hoping that she'd rehab. And, that was, even that period, and I know I've spoken to Oriel about it, but it was, and ultimately didn't end up with Hecate and I continuing our relationship, but it was really good from that perspective. Yeah. I just felt like every time I was doing something and spending that time with her, and you were, guiding me through what to do, that relationship with her was just getting better and better, more of a connection there.
She was such a smart little mare, that one. Yeah.
She was a good one.
Well, she was also renamed Mariska.
Yeah,
Hickey Lovebug.
Hickey Lovebug.
Hickey Lovebite.
Hickey Lovebite. Hickey Lovebite.
Yeah. I think you changed it to Lovebug to be better around the kids.
Why is Hickey Lovebite?
Yeah, what's a Hickey?
Yeah. No, you'll find out.
That's a bug. Hickey Lovebug.
She was a great horse, and I know we've got it in our heads that we may not get that good a horse again.
You can make them, but it's the time.
Them. That's a good positive outlet. You can make them that good. I like it.
Well, under this tutelage.
So yes, under Will's care. So what was I going to ask you? When you started your business, and you let go of sort of the corporate life, how was that?
Yeah, no, it was great.
It was great. It was time.
It was time. Yeah.
So the Polo Club in London. That sounds.
So it was a Polo Academy. So the initial it was in one of those, magazines. I saw this ad on TNT or whatever it was, and it's
TNT.
remember that? So it was sort of directed at Aussies and Kiwis and the South Africans and
the Antipodeans.
And they advertised this job. It was for a groom. I thought I'll go. I'll give that a go. The toughest part about that was trying to work out how to catch the train to where this joint was. Anyway, I navigated that. And
the tube system.
Yeah, it was tube and then some British rail.
And if there's a leaf on the truck, it all goes skew.
Yeah. And then they put you through a little sort of riding test, and then he just kind of stopped during that and said, "No, you're good. When can you start?" I said, "Whenever you want." And so it was a beautiful place. And these were some of the best polo horses in the world.
Wow.
Terry Packer had his horses there, and
Wow.
they had some high goal horses there. So they would fly in these guys from Argentina, these 10-golders, and they had a high goal team, and we'd play against Prince Charles at the time, his team, and we'd tie up next to them.
That's cool.
So my claim to fame is for a short period of my life that King Charles and I were on first name basis. We used to chat because he had one horse.
Would you actually call him Charles? How did you address them?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he'd remember me, but I think you'd call him by the proper time.
Yeah. Hang out with Charles.
But no, we got a bit friendly because all his horses were grey. He owned the team, and they're all grey, immaculate horses. And there'd be one that would always pull off his tie-up and come over to our camp, and he'd come with me, his horse. So Charles, he would trot right over, and he'd sit there and have a yarn with us. And so no, he was a good fellow.
So in that polo academy, you were playing.
I was schooling horses.
You weren't playing the polo. You were just getting them ready for the games.
Yeah. So it started off as kind of a grooming, mucking out stables and whatever. But I think they realised I had a little bit more ability than been on the end of a
Yeah,
shovel,
yeah.
and then I started helping school the horses.
Do you play polo?
No.
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 Have you ever played
I could get out and stick and ball, but
Yeah.
no, it's an expensive sport, and you need a bunch of horses.
And a particular type of horse, hey? Like a really...
but it was a good scene.
Yeah, how cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We were
Yeah.
hanging out with the rock stars there for a bit. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool claim to make.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah. Yes, it's 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We're basically royalty.
We're basically royalty.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, Bill is the royalty in the western suburbs.
Yes, in the western suburbs of Brisbane, Will is Equine royalty. That's what you should have named your business.
Oh, that's a great name.
I do marketing.
Equine royalty. Yeah, that's me. It's a good tagline. So you've kind of always had this entrepreneurial flair.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
you've always wanted to kind of do that, and you went through that, and you started a very successful business, which you then exited just before COVID. Was that the one you?
That was the exit was unceremonious.
Usually is.
That's not uncommon. So it was we got and just kind of stumbled into this once again. It was organic, but so it was a labour hire business, and then later we blended in a traffic management business to it, and so we would outsource workforce for civil construction projects mainly. That was our start. So a lot of the major bridges and highways, we've had some part in supplying labour to get those projects underway. So that was a great business, and but that's in the past now, and I'm really happy with my decision and happy where I am. Yeah.
So one of the things that you're obviously amazing around horses, full stop, but you have this fabulous calm demeanour.
Yeah.
And I think that when we're like, oh my God, and you come in and you're like, no, but you've got that calm demeanour throughout your entire life, right?
Yeah. So I think that's my personality trait though. I haven't kind of had to work on myself to be that. That's just who I am.
Yeah. Interesting.
So maybe it's a Libran thing,
balanced.
Yeah. So that's just me. But it is difficult to and that's kind of out of my pay grade to give people tools to calm themselves. It's like you can't just simply say to someone, you just need to calm down. It's like telling an angry person, to calm down. Just like, no, you can't. Yeah. So you've got to work on yourself to be able to do that if you are having those moments of anxiety around the horses, as we all know that they feed off that. That you need to be able to develop some tools yourself to be able to flush that out. But, without getting too woo-woo, there's a little bit of kind of woo-woo stuff in what I do, not too much, but I do believe that, when you're working with horses, they operate in the present, right? They're not worried about tomorrow or yesterday. They're in the now. So if you can just flush, everything that's circling around in your mind and just drop it and focus on what's happening right now and put yourself where in the present and put yourself where you want your horse to be. It makes such a difference. And it's a lot easier, I think, for guys to do that because we don't carry too many thoughts around in our head. We're not wired that way.
That's fair.
It's like the geldings of the world. Simple creatures.
You ladies, you girls, you're wired up to be always thinking of, particularly when you've got young kids and you're schooled and we've got what time I'm going to pick them up and, they've got their lunchbox ready. It's, what's planning for dinner tonight and then tomorrow. It's all those things. And it's something maybe, if someone had the magic kind of tap and turn those thoughts off for a minute while you're working with your horses, you'll find, you'll have a lot better results.
It's a great lesson for life, though, isn't it? If you can do that and really be present, which I find incredibly difficult to do.
But sometimes sometimes I think it depends on the mindset going into the circumstance. I think because sometimes, often when I've been with the horse, I am very in the moment. I'm not thinking, and that's one of the beauties of it, and why we enjoy it so much is because when we're on it and everything is just, you can't think about anything else, concentrating on this foot and this finger and this, my thumb and, all the parts of it. And I love that about it. It's the other stuff where things have happened and there's a pattern, I think, is where we are probably struggling the most, until stuff goes south. I'm generally not too worried.
Yeah.
And then when things go south, I'm like, oh no, now I've got problems.
Yeah.
Whereas I think but then often, if I'm anticipating something being scary, that's when it sort of hits. And I think you're similar. Like when you're in 100%. The zone, you're in the zone, right? Yeah. But if there's something like what you've been going through with Lainey, this pattern, then the anxiety, can take over and hit our brains in a different way.
Yeah.
It's really, but I like what you're saying. And I think where you're really good at that is when we're in those moments, you will say, okay, do this with their hind legs or focus on that. And it does take those thoughts away because we've all established that both Oriel and I are not great with our coordination of hand, rope.
Yeah, well, that's
flag.
another thing.
So that actually is a thing I have to concentrate on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you tried to give me the flag the other day and I was like, I can't do both.
Yeah.
I can't have a flag and a rope.
Yeah, you don't need a flag. That's just my go-to. But but that's something you just get better with over time. I mean, I was lucky probably, I've always been pretty good at hand-eye sort of coordination sports and whatnot. But you just get better at that. But you've got to make yourself better.
Yeah. Well, it's been a year.
Yeah. But it's just the more you do it, the more natural it feels. But where I've got to try and work a bit harder on myself, or the way I try and bring myself across is to be able to communicate to people all those little things that I do, or horsemen do, but don't even think about that muscle memory. Where you're going to position yourself, when are you going to ask, so that's something that I find difficult. But I've got to work on myself on that too.
But you're also good at showing that. I think visually,
I'm better at showing than I am explaining.
Yeah, I think that's okay, because I would say that most people in life are visual learners, right? Especially with a horse. If I watch what you do, it's easy to sort of see whether I can actually do it. It's different, but I can see what you're doing. And I think you're really good at that. You go straight into the exercise and you show and you put your feet, and then it's not until we're doing the exercise that you're like, oh, okay, no, you got to put your foot there. But you got to,
I've got to work myself through those steps that that people just I just do. Unconsciously or subconsciously.
Do you know how many times we've said between us, just channel Will?
Yeah, I've got FaceTime. People FaceTime me with it.
Do they?
Yeah. I'll have people ring me.
You should not have suggested
I can't ride my horse, and what should I do? And so I'll just flick it onto FaceTime. I'll try and work our way through it. So I get that. Yeah, no, that's all right.
Virtual
horse. But I also know how to block people too.
You wouldn't do that.
How to block people. So when was the last time you owned a horse? How long have you?
Oh God, I've been. We sold Bella's horses, which I used to ride a bit as well. Maybe 2 years ago.
Okay. Just a couple of years. Yeah. So you borrow a very cool horse.
Yeah. So I've got a few horses that I ride. I mean, I'm pretty fortunate. There's a bunch of horses around that people offer me to ride, and some I'll ride some people's horses for money. Yeah. But I also use them to take other clients out on rides. So, I'm pretty lucky like that. Yeah. And then I can hand them back. And
you don't have to
feed them or shoe them or any of that. Yeah. What's the most common problem that people come to you with? Is it confidence?
Yeah, it's confidence. Yeah, I think confidence is a thing. I just find there's a lack of real horsemanship being taught to people who with horses now, because there's a lack of people who can teach it.
Yeah.
You've got some amazing riding coaches, but they don't always have that horsemanship behind them. And so as a result, we see a lot of really good riders, and that's the way it is. But they haven't got that method of that training, that method to be able to deal with problems as they arise.
Oh my gosh, it's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So true.
Well, I remember, I think, with both of us, the first time we went on trails with you and you did that exercise where before we even moved off on the trail, you got us to go around trees and step over a log or whatever it was. But it was as much for us, I think, than it was for the horse.
Yeah.
To get our mind on doing something else, right? So you're dealing with the horse psychology, but you're dealing with our confidence issues as well.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing. It's a big thing,
And I think as well, like the groundwork side of things, like even when I was younger and had horses, I never remember doing groundwork, and now I see so much benefit in it.
Yeah. Well, you'll see now that you kind of understand it, you'll see how it all transfers to understand.
And I think it's like has to be part of the thing.
Yeah.
Do you, with your calm personality, does your heart rate ever go up? Do you ever feel? Are you ever in situations you feel nervous?
Yeah, good question. Look, there's sometimes you get on a horse and you know we're going to have an explosion, so you're very quickly digging deep into the toolbox to work out how we're going to handle this. So I couldn't sit here and lie to you, say no, my heart rate never changed. But I think I can regulate myself pretty quickly from that too. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've gone, I am not riding this horse?
No, but I've got smarter. I just think, you do a very quick basic assessment, and there's some horses I would say probably I wouldn't ride it to the person. There's been the odd occasion where, I've had to speak my mind and say, I don't think this horse is you're not ready for this horse yet. And, they've taken that on board. But so now I used to, people would ring me, say, horse bucks and, can you come ride it? And I would, but just got a bit smart. I did that because I would just take anything. But now I've just kind of got a bit smarter and probably more about, we need to sort of dig a bit deeper as to why your horse wants to bark. Yeah, maybe I can come and ride your horse and I can ride it and you can't, or it throws me and I can't ride it and I can
Yeah.
So what's the point of me coming riding a horse that's got a bucking issued? We're better off just trying to invest that time into understanding why it feels the need. Are there some gaps in the training, or are there some pain? Are there some other issues going on? And try and just drill down to it.
Yeah. So you're not willingly putting yourself on a bucking.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Is that an age thing, or is that just
I just got smarter.
I just can't. You just thought, I can't be bothered anymore with that.
And I don't want to smash myself up.
No. I'm always concerned about Will's helmet wear.
Sometimes Marissa said, he's still not wearing a helmet.
I know. When are you going to wear a helmet? Are you sure?
I have got one, and I do wear it where I have to, just to respect pony club grounds or whatever.
Wherever you are. Hey, I saw one actually because, Will, for those listening, Will wears a cowboy hat, you know, because he's a cool cowboy. But I did see one at Horseland on the weekend that was like a cowboy hat helmet. So maybe we should get you one of those.
I'm okay, thanks.
So chunky.
That'd just be like the
clip around
thing that sits off. But it's good to be sun safe. Maybe you girls get one of them. I'm right with what I've got.
So, Will's never going to go out of business with us. Anyway,
no, I don't think the 406 community is going to let him. Do you ever get to a problem which you can't fix and you think I've got to escalate this to someone else?
No, short answer. But I do. I tend to work in 1 hour sessions. I feel that, we can't ask a horse to keep holding its attention for that long on working on one particular thing. So some horses, particularly horses that are carrying some trauma, may take a little longer than, there's no magic kind of wave the yellow flag and all problems go away. We need to work and acknowledge those issues that the horse are having and try a different approach.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing, though. The fact that you can problem solve through just about anything with people. Nothing's too complex. I mean, and typically with the age group that you are, your demographic, let's call it.
Yeah.
I think nobody's got horses that are, wild brumbies.
No.
They're typically relatively well trained.
They're horses with people problems.
They're horses with people problems. And that's a lot of it, isn't it?
A lot of it is.
Yeah.
This is why you're a psychologist too, because you are dealing with the people problems as well, right?
That's a lot of it.
And
Yeah.
I think the confidence thing is huge.
Yeah.
Confidence thing is huge. I mean, and we've had, life coaches and that sort of thing come and talk to us on the podcast about how to regain confidence just in life, like not necessarily anything to do with horses. Because it is hard. Like if you lose your confidence for whatever reason, you've seen both Marissa and I go through it.
And horses are great for exposing that. Like there's a saying. I think I listened to a Warwick Schiller podcast once, and it wasn't his saying; it was someone else's, but it was very simple, and it stuck with me. Like a few have. The horses know when you know, and they know when you don't, and they know when they get got. And it's that last bit where you need to think about what that means. And when you figure that answer out, you'll find your relationship's a lot better.
Yeah. Well, my relationship was better with Lainey this morning.
I mean, I think I've got. I'm going to have to rebuild some confidence with when I get a new horse. Like I don't, it's like going back to square one again and.
Learning all the things.
Learning all the things about them. And, I already feel nervous about that because I've, got to know Hick for 6 months and,
you get comfortable with that. But,
comfortable.
Yeah, no, you'll be right. Just get on and go. I mean, you can only, I remember one lady rang me to come and ride a horse for her and she had like a fool's cap page of things that were wrong. He does this and his head shine, he does that and doesn't like play with hats and whatever. And I just said to her politely, I said, look, really, I can only ride the horse that I feel under me at the time. So thanks for letting me know all this, but
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter to me. And it's actually a laugh. I think of another story when we had the business back in the day. We had a mobile mechanic would come and service some of the vehicles that we had, and he was telling us that he had this lady ring her and she wanted him to service the car, but she went on and it's got electric, this and that, and it's fuel injected and twin turbo, and can you service that? And he said, has it got a motor? And she said, well, I can service it. Yeah. It's a bit like the horse, like has it got a heartbeat? Well, we can do something.
And actually, Oriel's beautiful sister Michelle said to me, which is something that I'm just keeping in my mind. She said, when you get on the horse that you're going to buy, you will feel safe on it and you'll know. And I've just got that in my head. Will came out with me to see that one, and within like 5 minutes I was like, I'm going to buy this horse. It feels like a nut. Like it's just not listening.
No. Well, we could see that when the lady rode it too. But always get them to get on and ride it and canter it outside of a round yard or a ring. Get there that little bit early and watch them.
Oh, we did that. Yeah. We did that. We took that advice. I said to Marissa, right now we've got to go early. Go early. So for those of you who don't know, it's when you're buying a horse and it's already been saddled up or you want to be there early so you can see if it is easy
that whole process. Can they go into the paddock?
What about that hilarious woman where we went, I don't think we've told this story, where we went out, it was a few weeks ago, and we went to look at one horse, which was a pony, and wasn't actually a horse. Yes. And then I was like, I can't even get on this horse.
It's too small.
And then she's like, I've got this other one. Oh, she's really easy to catch. And this horse is trotting around the thing. Lady, 3 people are petting this horse. Yeah. She's like, oh, she's making a liar out of me.
Well, she actually is.
Yeah, she's really easy to catch. 3 people, 1 halter.
Yeah.
Actually, that's funny you say that. It just reminds me of another story, and this is the beauty of horses too. I went to pick up a horse that had been to the breakers, and so I was there just to pick up the horse. And but I could see him down in the paddock, and he was having trouble catching it. And so I thought, I'll go down, give him a bit of a hand. We'll just run it up into the round yard or whatever. And it was just fanging around the paddock. And then the lady, I don't know whether she owned the horse or anyway, she happened to be there, and she was heavily pregnant. And the horse has just come up to her, just rested its head there, and she could put a halter on.
No way.
Yeah. So they're so intuitive like that.
Isn't that incredible? They're just amazing. Yeah. They're amazing creatures, though, aren't they? Like there's so much to them that we just will never understand.
Yeah.
But, that's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, we were chasing
All
around
these
the
men
paddock,
can go
yeah.
away. The baby in the belly there.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And why do you think, last question, why do you think we all have these mental chips in our brain that keep us coming back to horses? Sometimes you just want to walk away.
Well, that's an interesting, question. That's a big long answer, that one. But everyone's got their different reasons. But I think that horses don't judge. They take you for who you are. They don't have an opinion. They don't care, what sort of life you had, how much money you've got.
Yeah.
They're just so honest. And mostly willing for you. Different people have different reasons. I find a lot of comfort around horses. I like the smell of them. I like touching them. I like, every part of them. They're kind of pretty irresistible, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I've got that vision in my mind just from this morning of Laney just leaning into you.
Yeah.
Will, just like, almost closing his eyes.
Yeah,
like,
so those moments, and you get a lot of them, but they're special. Yeah. But I think probably, the biggest thing is that people need to just stop chasing perfection.
Yeah.
And you girls are, whether you know it or not, you're really doing the right thing. Invest the time in trying to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Not your horse.
Yeah.
That'll come with you. Yeah.
Yeah, great final words.
Yeah.
Invest the time.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah. It's a journey though, and it's never going to have a.
Well, it never finishes.
It's
That's so cliche, and it's such a
But that's
well-written horsemanship term sort of thing, or the journey. But it's so true. There's no other word for it. It's a journey that never ends.
Which is why you will never go out of business.
AI won't replace me.
AI will
You
not
are
replace
definitely
you.
not replaceable by AI. AI am walking mad horses onto floats. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Well, it's been a pleasure. And thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was so good. So good to chat. I hope you all enjoyed hearing from the man Will.
Yeah.
Equine
on the move.
For anyone who lives locally.
Yep.
If you probably already know about it. Yeah, awesome. And we'll be back next week with another guest.
Yes, we will.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.